Hey friends, welcome to this episode of Bougie Texas Barbecue. And today I'm going to show you how to smoke a brisket overnight without losing any sleep. I hope y'all are excited because I definitely am, so let's do it. So how do you smoke anything low and slow overnight without losing sleep and without missing out on that real smoke flavor? Well, my go-to method is the snake method. So how do you successfully apply the snake method? What you're going to want to do is arrange your briquettes in 2 or more rows, creating a snake-like formation or a semi-C shape around the perimeter of your grill. Now, as you can see, I am using Oklahoma Joe's Blackjack Kettle grill. Why I'm choosing to use the Blackjack Kettle grill today is because I know how expensive things are nowadays. This is a seriously affordable and underrated grill that Oklahoma Joe's has produced. I'm also smoking a choice cut brisket, not a prime. Sometimes the brisket, especially down here in Texas, are sometimes the same price when it comes to choice and prime, but I know that in other regions choice brisket is a lot cheaper than prime. So with this method, we are going to perfectly render out a brisket that it dries very easily, and by using a 2-to-1 ratio on the charcoal, it's going to manage itself overnight super low and slow, which is exactly what a choice brisket needs. Last but not least, don't forget to add wood because that is our flavor, and a water pan. I'm not getting up to spritz this brisket, so add the water pan to make sure there is moisture within your smoker. Before you place your brisket onto the smoker, make sure you light one end of that snake method. The best way to do it is by lighting and heating up 5 to 8 briquettes and then placing it right at the beginning of your snake method. The placement of your brisket is super important. You want the point to face the snake method, so it's facing the heat source. It can take the heat versus the flat because of all the marbling. Now this step is optional, but I do recommend adding a wireless probe. That way you can monitor and set alarms if the ambient temperature drops too low or gets too high. It shouldn't get high if you did your snake method properly. Now we're just gonna let the brisket do its thing. It's 10 p.m. in Texas and I'm ready to go to sleep. And here's just a couple of key factors of today's cook: organization, fuel, water pan, and proper airflow. Take the time to pause this video before you attempt this at home. Make sure you got your ducks in a row because the last thing you want to do is mess up your brisket. Well, good morning guys. It is officially 7 a.m. in Texas and our brisket is ready to be pulled off the smoker. My fire is almost completely out, so I timed it perfectly. But I just wanted y'all to see how rendered it is. But this brisket wasn't the only thing I was cooking overnight. I saved this brisket's fat trimmings to turn into beef tallow. I just threw it in a crock pot and it cooked overnight. And now it's ready to re-moisten our brisket. You will need a strainer and a cheesecloth to filter out your beef tallow. But let's talk about why you should use beef tallow. It enhances flavor, improves moisture retention for your protein. It's rich in vitamins, it's a healthy fat, and if you have any left over, you can use it as a high heat cooking oil. Once I filtered my beef tallow, I used it to re-moisten the bark of the brisket, and then I wrapped it in some butcher paper, allowed it to rest until it dropped to an internal temp of 150 degrees before slicing. And this is how my brisket looks. It definitely did not disappoint. Now here comes the best part, slicing into it. That moment when the knife just glides through the bark and you can see all the juices, a nice smoke ring. It's literally what we wait hours for. And this is exactly when you know that it was all worth it, even if you were asleep. Who wouldn't love waking up to a perfectly smoked brisket? Now the flat side of the brisket is exactly what I expected to see, especially in a choice cut. Don't get me wrong, it sliced good and it was definitely still juicy. But this point definitely surprised me. It almost was identical to a prime point. Now, of course, there is a little less fat, but that's okay. A lot of people prefer less fat. Now, a little shred when you're slicing is okay, but the brisket itself should not be falling apart into like cold brisket. That's not what you want to see, and that means you overcooked your brisket. This point was velvety, it was tender, it was perfectly rendered, exactly what you want to see in your brisket point. Well, that pretty much wraps up this video. Don't forget to save it. Till next time, guys, enjoy. Bye.